as with many of the midot, many of the qualities, the way that the beauty is understood is perhaps a bit different to how beauty is understood in the popular culture. Because it really is, the idea is the beauty that comes from a kind of spiritual harmony and integrative a presence, which can be receptive, as in like receiving light, but also has its active side, emanating light. So I think of Tiferet as, it's in the middle column, right? Chesed is on the right and Gevurah is on the left. Tiferet's in the middle. And I think of it as the beautiful balance that brings forth compassion. Because, compassion, rachamim, is one of the other names for Tiferet. And so, that in itself indicates the particular spiritual quality that is being pointed toward when we say Tiferet. So there's one of the bodhisattvas in Chinese Buddhism, which probably almost everyone is familiar with. That's Kuan Yin. A lot of people have probably seen the Kuan Yin statues. They're usually little white statues. And the reason I'm thinking about it is that in Chinese, the word, the full name for that bodhisattva is Guan Si Yin. And Guan means hear or perceive. And Si means a world, or the universe. And Yin means sound or music. So perceive, world, sound, Quan Su Yin. And as I mentioned, Kuan Yin is understood to be a bodhisattva of compassion or mercy. And in fact, some of the Kuan Yin little statues, the whole statue is just one piece, but then there's that one of the hands can be turned, it moves in it, and the hand can be up like this, as in receiving compassion. And the hand can be turned like this, as in dispensing compassion, giving compassion. And that's, it's very much in line with the way that we think of the sphirot of the tree of life. There's a descending shefa, there's a descending influx of light through Keter and down into our malchutness, into our physicality, into the world that is concrete for us. But there's also at least the possibility of a flow of energy that rises up out of our bodies through our hearts and minds and is given over to the world. And Tiferet is kind of like right in the middle of that whole thing. So I want to put Tiferet together with a very key idea and really mitzvah in our tradition that is presented in this week's Torah portion. You know, it's a double portion, and the second portion is Kedushin. And, you know, Kedushim tihiyu ki kadosh ani Adonai Elohechem. You all shall be holy because I, Adonai, your divinity, am holy. And right in the toward the beginning of this parsha is what is, I think, often considered the primary universal spiritual teaching, which is ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, and you will love your fellow person as yourself. So I want us all to just take a minute. You know, I'm going to go on a little bit before we do our full meditation. But I'd like to just take a minute at this point for us to ask ourselves, you know, what am I learning about loving the other as myself through this sort of imposed retreat time of the pandemic? And sometimes when, you know, the crunch is on, we can feel more clearly what is important in our lives and what is important to us, what is important for us to attend to and put our energy into. And for sure, there's the side of self-care and self-nurturing, so needed. And then there's also the side of, you know, reaching out, you know, being aware, that kind of sensitivity, you know, as in the Kuan Yin, perceive the world now, you know, perceive just from where you are, you know, who in your world is calling out for attention, for help in some way. And are there places in me, are there parts of me that are calling out for attention, for nurturing in some way? You know, I think we can consider Tiferet, the heart, it's like the seat of conscience, right? Of that feeling about what is valuable, what is important, right now, right now. I think it's through that integrative, harmonizing function of Tiferet, that balancing function, that we are able to navigate our tiny vessels in what can often be chaotic waters, externally and internally. It's like cleaving to that place of the heart. Is a way of ordering our minds, of purifying our hearts. There's a beautiful kavanah in prayer in one of the Psalms where it says, Lev tahor barali Elohim, a pure heart create within me, God. V'ruach nachon chadesh b'kirti, and an upright spirit, a spirit with kavanah is really what it means. Renew within me. Al tashlicheni milefanecha. Don't cast me away from before you. V'ruach kodshecha al tikach mimeni. And your divine spirit, don't take it away from me. It's a prayer to be recentered in our hearts. And, I'm thinking of heart not just as like feeling, but it's like heart, mind, conscience, love. So it's a way into silence. First of all, just do a little bit of subtle shifting in your seat from side to side. And then gradually find that balance point in the middle. And as your body comes to rest, being aware of your grounding, and also being aware of that sort of vector of alignment that goes up through the core of your body, through your neck and throat, and out the top of your head. And bringing your palms over the middle of your chest. Just feeling yourself breathing, letting the breath center and dwell right there in that heart-lung place. And continuing with that heart-centered breathing. Let the hands down to where they'll be comfortable. And to awaken our inner listening, just chant the one word, Shema. Listen. We'll chant it a number of times, and then we'll be in silence. Shema. 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 Shema.